I'm Mike Morin. For the past 100 years or so, people have enjoyed candlepin bowling all the way from the Canadian Maritimes into New England. Of course, bowling itself goes back thousands of years to the time of the Egyptians. But our form of bowling, candlepins, was introduced in Worcester, Massachusetts back in 1881. Since then, thousands of people have enjoyed the game, and there are many reasons, one of which is everybody can enjoy candlepins. You don't have to be big or strong or fast. Children, senior adults, everybody can play. And the reason we're putting this bowling video together for you is so that new bowlers getting acquainted with the game can learn the proper style and technique. And for those of you who've been at it for a few years, would like to improve your game, maybe add a couple of pins to your average, make it a lot more fun, perhaps we can help you too. So at this point, let me introduce our instructor. He's a touring professional, a television competitor as well, and a bowling center proprietor. Please welcome Dan Murphy.
Hey, Mike.
Hey, Dan.
Thanks for inviting me today.
Glad you're here.
Mike, what we're going to try to attempt to do today for yourself and for the people at home is give all of us a few tips, a few ideas that's hopefully going to help you improve our game. Okay, what we're going to try to do today is to break down this instruction into 4 different areas: the grip, the stance, the approach, and the follow-through. And each one of those areas relates directly or indirectly to timing, and that's the second thing I'd like to emphasize. Timing is everything in the game of candlepin bowling. Hopefully what we're going to accomplish today is to get everyone to be consistent from the time they pick the ball up off the rack until the time they deliver toward the target.
All right, so we start with picking up the ball, I would guess.
Exactly. We'll go right into the grip, Mike.
Any safety features so I don't get my fingers mangled?
Well, that's a good point, Mike. What I'd like to have you do is thumb on one side of the ball and fingers on the other. And for you people at home who have youngsters that are going to be involved in this game, it's a very good thing for them to start to practice, because I've seen some nasty accidents with those balls coming back in the ball return. Okay, a couple of things to watch in the grip. You notice the space between Mike's palm of his hand and the ball. Okay, there should be a space there. That space, of course, the size of the space depends on the size of your hand. But what this enables us to do is to keep a fingertip control of the ball, which we need. We don't want the ball sitting in the palm of our hands. Notice the thumb and index finger of Mike's hand. It's at a 45-degree angle or thereabouts. And also the other 4 fingers are spread evenly across the ball.
All right, so I guess I don't really want to squeeze the ball or grip it. It's just a nice, light, relaxed position.
Okay, we want a firm grip on the ball, but not too tight.
Okay.
Okay, let's go right into the stance then, Mike, okay? What I want you to do is to stand in the middle of the approach. Okay, I want you to be relaxed, keeping in mind that when we start our approach, our slide ending position is going to be 4 to 6 inches behind the foul line. Okay?
All right.
I want you facing the target in a relaxed position. Okay, the ball should be held in a position between the nose and the waist. Okay, I prefer it about waist high or slightly above waist high. I feel real comfortable at that position. Okay, the foot, I like to stagger the left foot in front of the right. However, a lot of people have both feet together, which is perfectly all right.
No real big difference, is there?
No, there's no advantage or disadvantage to that. It's, again, personal preference. And if you get with your local instructor, I mean, he's going to help you with a lot of different things that make you feel real comfortable up here. But I like mine staggered. Okay? The other thing I'd like to mention is that I'd like the weight a little bit on the right foot, slightly more weight on the right. This enables me to take that first step with the left foot with no problem. And we are talking about right-handed bowlers, I may mention to you people at home. Those of you who are left-handed are going to have to reverse some of the things that we're talking about.
Before we go any further with the lesson, maybe we should, for a moment, address the issue of etiquette, because a lot of times bowling centers are crowded, and you don't want people getting in your way, and you don't want to get in their way. So how do we know who's got the right of way, Dan?
That's true. And for you people at home, etiquette is a big part of candlepin bowling. It's a big part of any sport. And what I'd like to emphasize today is the fact that the bowler on the right usually has the right of way. Now, I say that if I'm the bowler on the right and I'm up ready to make my approach, but all of a sudden I want to take another second or two, I should step back, indicate this to both bowler on my right and my left, so if they're ready to go, they can proceed with their approach. The second thing, and I know this is indicative of everyone, is that when I get a nice game going, I seem to get a little extra body English, extra body motion. Okay, I want to confine that to the width of my lane, so I'm not disturbing the bowlers the right and the left. And one other technique that I personally use, that I want to look and see where the bowler on my right starts on the approach, as well as the bowler on the left. If those bowlers are on that particular spot or close to that spot, then I should take the few extra seconds and let them proceed, because they're almost ready to go.
Okay, just common courtesy, we all enjoy the game that much more.
That's right.
All right, back to the center of the lane and the footwork.
Okay, we're going to now talk about the basic 3-step approach. Now, some of you use 3, some of you use 4. I've seen people use 5. Okay, my philosophy here is to keep it to a 3-step approach, because there's less chance of us making a timing error because we're taking less movement. We're using less movement to get to the foul line. Okay, Mike, we're going to start or talk about the three-step approach. And for the right-handed bowler, it's a simple three-step approach of left, right, and left. What I'm going to do is break down those 3 steps, keeping in mind that after I get the approach down and we talk about it, I would like a fluid motion continuous as soon as I start my approach. But for the sake of the video, we're going to break it down, show you a couple techniques, a couple things to look for as far as timing.
All right.
Okay, I got my feet staggered. Position of the ball is just above waist. The first step is the push-away step. Okay, it's with the left foot, and at the same time, as you can see, I'm starting now to bend at my knees and at my waist. At the completion of this first step, you'll notice that the arm of the ball is at approximately a 4 o'clock position. So continue through with the second step, my right foot coming through. The arm swing now starts back. You'll notice that the arm and the leg pass at approximately a 6 o'clock position. And I complete that second step, and at this step, Mike, at the completion of this step, you see my arm swing is at the height of the backswing, parallel with the floor or slightly above the parallel position.
Is there any reason why, Dan, you couldn't wind it up and really wing it? Why just parallel to the floor?
Well, you'll see a lot of the great Candlepin bowlers probably have a bigger backswing than that. But again, my theory is that the extra movement of that arm is going to create some problems when you release the ball as far as the timing goes. Okay. So parallel with the floor, maybe slightly above parallel. Okay, I'm into that second step. Now the third step, or the slide, I'm going to reach the foot and the arm reach at approximately the same time at the foul line. Okay, and right into the follow-through, which is nothing more but a continuation after I release the ball up toward the target. Okay, now what I want to check here, Mike, is my sliding foot should be pointed toward the target pin as well as my follow-through and my arm toward the target. Okay, this enables my shoulders and my chest to be squared to the target as well.
All right. Is there any, maybe we can talk for just a moment about a couple of the common problems that many bowlers have. There must be a couple things that you as an instructor see on a day-to-day basis.
Well, the 2 things that come to my mind, and I'm sure you people can relate to this at home, how many of you have thrown the ball, after you release the ball, you act like a ballerina at the foul line?
Not deliberately, but it just happens.
Right, you lose your balance.
Yeah.
What's happening is that you're taking that 3-step or 4-step approach toward the foul line, your momentum of the body is going forward. The natural tendency after you release the ball is to want to stand up. So the body's moving forward this way, and you want to stop that and create a position or a movement of upward movement, and it's caused you to lose your balance.
Now, a quick review of our 4 main points. We'll start with the grip. The ball rests comfortably yet firmly in the palm of your hand, with fingers spread evenly. Next, the stance. Stand erect yet relaxed at the center of the approach, eyes on target, and the ball between nose and waist. The approach. Slight bend at the waist and fluid movement without rushing to the foul line. And finally, the follow-through. We'll give you 2 versions. First from behind. Remember, stay down at the line. And extend your release upward while staying down at the line until you're absolutely sure the ball is well on its way.
I think what we should do at this point is have you maybe roll a game, and I'll score it because a lot of people seem intimidated by the bowling scoring system, which is very simple. You probably have people come up to you every day at your bowling center and ask for lessons on keeping score.
Exactly right.
All right, so you give the lessons on the bowling, I'll give the lessons on the scorekeeping, and everybody will be happy.
Okay, let's have a go.
Go to it.
A bowling game is comprised of a total of 10 frames, with a maximum number of 3 balls per frame. And on the first frame, Dan throws a strike. Requires just 1 ball for the frame, and that's a total of 10 pins. However, there are 2 bonus balls that will now be added to the 10 pins on the strike. So it's 10 plus the total number of pins knocked down on the next 2 bonus balls. And there's another strike, 10 pins on the first bonus ball. And when you get into a multiple strike situation, it can get a little bit confusing. If you need a little help, don't be afraid to ask the bowling center proprietor. He or she will be very happy to explain it to you.
Now, from one extreme to the other, half-twisted to the left.
So 2 pins, the second bonus ball on the first strike, giving us 22 pins in the first frame.
In this case, I'm going to go for the head pin and see if I can pick off 3 or 4 of them.
And a total of 7 pins for the frame. So we can add up all the bonus ball situations now. And comes out to 45 pins in the third frame. 45 through 3 into the fourth now.
was a break when that 7-pin went down. These I like.
The reason Dan likes them is because you have a little broader target with the pin lying down in front of the 5-pin. Easier to make that way. Nice shot.
Now if I can concentrate on hitting the head pin on this lane 3, I'm going to stay down, square up my shoulders to the target.
A spare is 10 pins plus the total number of pins on the next ball, which is 9.
7-pin.
So we had 19 to 45, giving us 64 through 4. Oh, tough judgment call. Do we give him a spare or don't we? Well, we'll give him the benefit of the doubt, give Dan a spare. But if the ball goes into the channel before it hits the pins, any pins that go down as a result do not count on the score. But for demonstration purposes, we'll give him the spare. So 10 plus the bonus ball is 6. 16 to 64 is 80.
Try to hit the 2-pin and the wood at the same time.
A little bit too full on that shot.
Very important in the third ball is grab as many pins as you can.
Total of 8 for the frame. 88.
A lot of bowlers give up on the third ball. Very, very important to get as many as you can with the all-important third ball.
So through 6 frames, Dan Murphy has a total of 88 pins. And now a 6 drop. 4 horsemen right side.
Trying to split the 1 and the 3. Oh. Well, need a little more luck there. Everything but the 10-pin.
Well, he hit it where he should between the 1 and the 3, but the ball was deflected around the left side of the 10-pin, which he gets. And a 10 is signified by putting an X in the frame. 98 through 7.
Again, concentrate on hitting the head pin.
And a total 9 drop. And once again, Dan has a little piece of wood to work with up front.
You have to watch the double piece of wood here. I think if I go right at the 5-pin, the ball should carry.
And a nice shot. So a spare in the 8th frame, and once again a spare is scored. 10 pins plus the total number of pins knocked down on the very next ball. So it's 10 plus the number of pins right here, which again is 9, giving us 19 to 98, or a total of 117 in the 8th.
And I'm going to try to cover the 4-pin.
A little more difficult shot without the help of any wood up front. And a nice shot. Spare for Dan Murphy in the 9th as we go into the 10th.
Okay, 10th frame. Again, timing seems to be fairly good at this point. Stay down, follow through.
Working on the spare. This is the bonus ball. 7 to 117, 134 through 9.
Actually going to play the 6-pin with a piece of wood in front of it. See if I can snap the wood over into the other 2.
Very difficult shot. Going for the right side. Yeah, nice shot.
A
Beautiful.
little Irish luck there.
Come on, Dan, don't be so modest. That was a great shot. So a spare working, 10 plus whatever Dan throws on this ball to 134. Add 17 to the score for 151.
What a great game.
Oh, Lady Lucky was with me.
You really make it look easy, but I'm sure it's taken a lot of years to get to be as good as you are today.
Well, when you want to be proficient at anything, Mike, it requires repetition, and Candlepin Bowling is no different. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I suggest each and every one of you watch the video as many times as you think you need to, and then go down to your local bowling center, bowl a few games of practice, maybe even join a league. But practice continuously and have fun. I'm Dan Murphy.
And I'm Mike Moran. Thanks for watching. All right.